This is Robert Plank from backupcreator.com, and let's talk about how to get your WordPress blog to automatically back up to Amazon S3, Dropbox, and Google Drive, whether that's every day, every week, as much or as little as you want, to all these different areas. The tool we will use for this is called backupcreator.com. You go to backupcreator.com, go to the bottom, and there are two options. The first option, the $7 option, is just the backup. The $47 option is the one you want that allows you to back up onto S3, Dropbox, Google Drive, and all kinds of other cool places. So you're going to click on this $47 option, click the button, and check out and create your account inside of Backup Creator. So once you've done that, once you've paid using the screen here, what you can do at any time is go back to backupcreator.com, click on Login, and you'll be able to log in back to your account to get your access again. Okay, so we log into the Backup Creator members area, and once we're there, we see the Backup Creator file. We want to right click and download that to our desktop. That's the plugin that we'll install on our WordPress site to back up the site, and then once we've backed it up and it's in a safe place, we can always go back and change the settings there to back up to Amazon, Dropbox, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to save this to my desktop. That way I can always get back to it. So now I've saved the Backup Creator plugin to my desktop, and we want to keep this tab open here because we'll need our license key and our license email in just a second. So the site I'm going to be backing up is the site here at robertplank.com, and so let me just open it up at robertplank.com right there. So here's the WordPress site, and then in order to log in, we need to go to /wp-admin, and then either we're already logged in or we have to enter the username and password. So we're in, and we need to add Backup Creator as a plugin. We go to Plugins, Add New, Upload Plugin, choose File, and then double click the Backup Creator file, and then click on Install Now. Give that a second, it's there, click Activate, give that a second to activate. Now it's here, now we save our information here, now it's ready to back up. So if you did nothing else, you can just click on Backup this site, and this will back up. I believe this is about a 100 megabyte or so website. Now the backup's complete. We can go and check our settings here, and so first of all, I mean, we could change how much of the blog you back up. So if we want to back up all of our theme files or not. So I'm just gonna kind of see, okay, I'm happy with what we're backing up there. So at the moment, the website we're backing up is going to be about 160 megabytes. And so we have the Backups tab in Backup Creator, and this is where you back up a site, and here we have the backup. We can just left click on this and save that copy to our hard drive. So that's great. But what if we wanted to put it somewhere else? Well, first of all, what we can do is we can go over to the right next to the backup. And if we want to put this particular backup online somewhere, we can click on this drop down. And right now, the only option is to send to cloud. So I'll click on that. And just by doing that, going to the existing backup and choosing send to cloud, this will store our backup in the Backup Creator storage that we provide you. And at any time, if you go to a new site, install the same Backup Creator plugin, we can click Restore from Cloud, and then the backup that we had made is in there. So that's how we can easily put our backup off-site and recover it. So that's okay, but what I really want to do is I want to put it on the places where I back up everything else. We're talking about places like Dropbox. So if you've never heard of Dropbox, this is a backup service. So good place to back up, your home computer, pictures, and guess what? Even your websites. So we have Dropbox.com right here, and you can browse in the in this web interface, and you can also add the desktop program for Dropbox. So you have a special Dropbox folder, and it will synchronize. I know that's a fancy word, but it will synchronize or match up every computer where you use Dropbox, right? So this is a special Dropbox folder, but if you have Dropbox installed on your laptop, all these folders will be now on your laptop. All the folders will be on your desktop. You change a file on your desktop, it changes everywhere else. So that's what Dropbox is, and at Dropbox.com you can get, I believe, 2 gigabytes free. And so what you can do here is once you have Backup Creator installed and you have your Dropbox account, you click on this Settings tab here, and we have a bunch of options. We have this Dropbox backup. Click on Dropbox, and here's the information. Go to Dropbox to get an account. Once you get your account, you click on this connect link here. This will send you to Dropbox, and it says that Backup Creator wants access, and it won't just store it in the main Dropbox folder. It'll put it in Apps Backup Creator. So I'll click on Allow, and now Dropbox is connected. I can see there's my Dropbox account, there's my Dropbox folder, and even if I click on this, I can even see if I have any. Looks like I have some folders already in Dropbox. And if I look to my Dropbox folder on my computer, Dropbox app backup creator, I have these backups on my computer as well. So the cool thing about this is you run your backup on your website, and then the backup magically appears on this special folder on your computer. Let's check it out. We have this Dropbox stuff saved here, okay? And we want to click on backup now. So we click on backup now, and let's see what happens. It's going to create a fresh new backup, and it is now sending it off to Dropbox. It should only take a few seconds, maybe a minute at the most, but it will send this off to Dropbox, and then once it's done sending, you'll be able to see it in the Dropbox Apps Backup Creator folder. You'll be able to see it in your special folder on your desktop. So it's just as simple as getting a Dropbox account and then going to the Settings tab in Backup Creator. Click on the connect link under Dropbox, and then it will just ask you to log in to your Dropbox account and say, yes, I want to allow Backup Creator to be used with Dropbox. So if you went and logged in to 5, 10, or 100 of your different sites and connected the backup to Dropbox, then every time you backed up any of those sites, it would automatically back it up to Dropbox as well. Okay, so now it's done, and if we go back to our Dropbox, I believe we don't even have to refresh, it's there 5 seconds ago. Now this backup is on here, and it might take a minute for my backup to download onto my magic folder in my computer, but if I give it just a couple more seconds, maybe I'll have to right click and refresh, I'm not sure, but if I give it, okay, so it's still cranking along, but in just a couple of seconds, the Backup Creator backup for robertplank.com should be right here in this folder. So any second now, we do have to refresh again. There we go. Now the backup, the 200 megabyte backup is now in here. So we've backed up sites of 1 gigabyte, 4 gigabytes, and sometimes larger, and it will send it off to Dropbox, and it will send it off to any other place that you want it. So that's kind of cool, right? Any place we have Dropbox installed, now we see this backup is in here. So now that that's done, let's go back to our settings. And what we can do is, let's say that you back up automatically, or you back up pretty regularly. We can click on this delete backup from the site after uploading. So this will run the backup of your site, send it to Dropbox, and then delete the backup off your own server. That way you don't keep piling up tons and tons of space. Then we can click on this automatic backup, and we can back up once a week. We can back up once a day. Let's say we're going to back up every day at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then delete the backup when we're done, or maybe even keep the last 2 backups on our site, and we can just save this. And now every day at 3 o'clock in the morning, it will run the backup, take a snapshot of the site right now, put it over on the Dropbox, and then only keep the last 2 on there. So if there's other backups that are older, it will go ahead and delete those. So Dropbox is great, but what if you prefer other storage, or what if you just want to have as many copies of this thing as possible? We can click on the box to put it in the Backup Creator Cloud Backup, and let's even add it to Amazon S3. We check this box, and it asks for these 3 pieces of information. And this might be a little tricky the first time you see it because Amazon, instead of saying a username, they say key ID. And instead of saying access key, they say, or instead of saying password, they say access key. And instead of saying folder, they say bucket name. All right. So we're going to go to aws.amazon.com. The link's right there. We go to my account and we log in. And let me log in here. And so if you don't know Amazon, they basically have a storage service called Amazon S3 where you can store all your files there. So we are going to be doing a couple things, okay? It asks us for an access key ID, a secret access key, and a bucket name. So let's make the bucket name. So I'll go create bucket. I'll call this Robert Plank Backups. I think I need to make it all lowercase. Robert Plank Backups, and I'll make this just the regular standard. Create that S3 bucket. This is called Robert Plank Backups. I left click on it. It's empty. Nothing's in it. So that takes care of the backup, and I'll go back here and I'll say this will be at Robert Plank Backups. Great. Then I need to go to click on my own name and click on security credentials and make the fancy username and password they want. So I click on this get started with users. I will go create new users. So usernames, I'm just going to call this Robert Plank Backup. Okay, created that user. It says generate an access key, sure, whatever that does. Click on create, and the user already exists. All right, so I'll say Robert Plank blog. Click on create, and now I've created it, and I click on this show user security, and I'm going to need to make sure I don't share this with anyone, and that that I also keep a copy because I'll only be able to get this once. So I highlight this, right click and copy, go to my backup creator settings, right click and paste this in for the access key. Go to my secret key, highlight this, right click and copy, go back to the settings, right click and paste that in there. So now I will save my settings and I will connect, and there's one last thing I have to do. There's an error connecting. The last thing I have to do, if I close this, close the window, I need to left click on this Robert Plank blog, and I need to go, okay, I'm sorry, I need to click on the name itself, not the checkbox. So left click on the name itself, and then under permissions, attach policy, and I'll just make this an administrator. So that way I can do everything in my Amazon account. Click on attach policy. That should all be saved on there. I go back to backup creator settings, and cool, now there's no error. Now I see this folder, and what we're looking at here, once again, we're looking at this administrator we created, and it's looking at the Robert Plank's backups folder. All right, and just to make sure we're at the right area, I can go back and click on this cube, click on S3, and I can go to the Robert Plank's backup bucket or folder, we could call it. I could say actions upload. I could go add files, and let me just put a file up in there, and I can start the upload of the file. Give that a couple seconds to finish uploading, and I can click on connect again, and you see how the file I put on there, I can now view it, so I know I'm in the right place. So that's it. Now we're backing up to Dropbox and to Amazon S3. So let's save and back up now, and give it a couple seconds to first back up to put the site into a zip file and all that. It's first saving it to your built-in backup creator storage. That was really quick. Now it's saving it up to the Amazon bucket, so that's only going to take 4 seconds, or now 2 seconds. And then it's going to save it to Dropbox, which is probably going to take, based on last time, about 60 seconds or so. So while while Dropbox is cranking away, we can go back to our bucket here, click on this, I don't know, this loop-de-loop to refresh it, and cool, now we have the backup from robertplank.com right there in our Amazon S3 bucket. So When we click on the backup button, it backs up to our cloud storage, it backs up to Amazon S3, it backs up to Dropbox, and it's going to keep the two most recent backups on our server. Plus, even if we forget to log in, this is going to be doing this every day at 3 o'clock in the morning, sending it off to Amazon and to Dropbox. And just for a good measure, once this finishes, let's also hook it up to Google Drive. All right, just 4 seconds remaining, done. So now let's put it on all these different places and let's check out Google Drive. We'll go to google.com/drive, and if you have a Gmail account or any kind of account like that, this is the login you use. Go to Google Drive, and I believe I'm already logged in. So Google also gives you a couple gigabytes of file storage, and so this is the equivalent to Dropbox, Amazon, but also on Google. So in my case, 15 gigabytes of storage, and if you have I believe they have, yeah, this Get Drive for PC. If you install that on your computer, then you will have a magic folder just like we have on Dropbox. And check this out. Speaking of the magic folder in Dropbox, now we have both of our backups from robertplank.com. So if that daily backup ran, after a couple weeks, we'd have just a list of all the backups safely stored on our computer. We go to Backup Creator Settings, so click that Settings tab, and then we already have a bunch of things checked. We want to check this Google Drive backup. Now, I saved Google Drive for last because they make you go through a 10 steps, but if we just go very carefully and follow the steps exactly, we'll be able to back up onto Google Drive. So first of all, go to the Google Developer Console and select a project and create project. So I'll left click on this, it'll open it in a new tab. There's going to be lots of unfamiliar screens, but let's just be careful and let's just go really slow. Okay, so select a project, create a project, and it says to type backup creator as the project name. And the reason for this is because we can delete this later if we for some reason wanted to just disable all backup creator functions. So we created backup creator, and then now we're going to be going to APIs, Drive API, and Enable API. So this means that we'll allow it to use Google Drive. So we go and it says Enable and Manage APIs. And we want to scroll down and find Drive API and Enable API. Great. Now Backup Creator can use Google Drive. Next, we want to go to APIs Credentials, add credentials, and add an OAuth 2.0. So click on Credentials, add credentials, OAuth 2.0. Great. Next, there's a button to configure the consent screen. So now we're on step number 5. So we just very carefully go, and there's nothing really to click on other than configure consent screen. Let's check our instructions. It says to name the product name backup creator, and that's it. So product name backup creator, and save that. Great. Next, it tells us to say application type web application and set the name to the name of our blog. So I'll say web application. The name is Robert Plank Blog. Okay. And that's so that we can disable all backup creator backups to Google Drive, or just turn off just this one blog. And then we want to copy the authorized URL from the page. So we want to set the authorized redirect URL to this. So we click and hold down to highlight this, right click and copy. So authorized URL. Okay, so we don't want this authorized JavaScript, we want authorized URL. So right click and paste that right in there. Create. Moving right along. Don't close this just yet. We want our client ID and our client secret. So this says we want to copy the client ID down here and the client secret down there. So we go back and we can right click and copy this. Go here, right click and paste. Don't show this to anyone, by the way. Go over here and right click and copy the client secret. Go over there, right click and paste. Save settings. and Backup Creator would like to view and manage Google Drive. I will allow that. And we go back, and now Google Drive appears to be already verified. So for good measure, let's do this once again. So I mean, we at this point we could uncheck the other things or leave it all checked. Let's leave all of it checked. Let's go crazy. We'll save and backup now, and we'll see all the stuff that Backup Creator will run for us every 3 a.m. time every day of the week, including weekends. It will back up the site to Backup Creator Cloud. Okay, it will save the backup also to Amazon S3 storage in the Robert Plank Backups bucket, as they call it. It will save it to Dropbox in the apps/backup creator folder, which we can get to from any computer where we have the Dropbox app installed or from their website. And it's also saving really quickly to Google Drive as well. So if we go and check out our Google Drive account, let me go back to google.com/drive, log into this one, and it has created a folder. See, this wasn't here before. This folder called Backup Creator. I can double click, and now all of my backups are stored in this Backup Creator folder. So we can close this credentials here, and what we can do is if we want to add more blogs to Backup Creator in the future, well, the project is already done, right? We go to our this area, so the project Backup Creator. This is all of our backups, and if we go and manage, how do I get into this project? So we can always go to a Backup Creator and see this enable APIs and get credentials. We go there and click credentials. And so right now we have just they call it credential, but it's like the username and password for Robert Plank blog. And if I were to add other blogs to back up, I could say add credential, and I could call this a web application for Lance Thomas Shiro blog, and paste in the authorized redirect for that as well, and get the details for that. And now I can just see all of the blogs that I have given permission to use the Backup Creator project, which in turn has permission to use the Google Drive API. So that's how we set up Backup Creator for automatic backups to the cloud, to FTP, to Amazon, Dropbox, Google Drive, and more. And once you have this set up and in place, you can just set it and forget it and have all of your WordPress blogs automatically back up to those external places. So the place to go is backupcreator.com. Claim your account and get the $47 version so that you can have all the goodies. Automatic backup and backup to Amazon, Dropbox, and Google Drive. I'm Robert Plank from backupcreator.com, and thank you.